Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and thank you very much for spending some time with me and checking out the video. Always very grateful to have you guys around here. Guys, today we're going to be making a case why every angler in the Bassmaster Classic this week at Grand Lake needs to be fishing this hellbender here to get a dose of reality. I'm going to go into the details about a little story behind this particular lure in Grand Lake and the current state of the sport we find ourselves in with spotlighting and the Bassmaster Classic coming up. Have a little discussion on that in the video. Also, guys, just want to invite everybody out there, anybody interested in subscribing to the channel, all you got to do, man, is just hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button to not miss any videos. We've been getting some really good channel growth here the last month, so I really appreciate everybody that's hit that subscribe button, definitely helping out. And also thank you very much everybody out there that's been using my tackle warehouse link I put in the description to purchase your fishing tackle. You guys know that if you use that link, the channel gets a small percentage of the commission on anything you buy, so that's a good way to give back, and much appreciated. Me and my family appreciate that. Okay guys, here it is, the old hellbender. This bait right here, this is close to 50-year-old bait here, and here's the scenario I want to talk about. Some of you guys that have been with the channel for a while, you've heard me allude to this before. Now, we're getting ready to have the Bassmaster Classic up on Grand Lake, and I've been going back and forth arguing with biologists and people that don't know any better about Grand Lake, about how much Grand Lake sucks now. And people always, throw up tournament statistics. Oh, Randy, look at the fish that were caught last weekend down at Grand Lake. Grand Lake's fine. Grand Lake ain't fine, guys. Take spotlighting out of the equation and then give me your tournament result. I don't want to hear about any tournament that was won spotlighting trying to equate those weights to the health of the lake, because it's not true. That is an illusion that the fishing is good on there, that is only perpetuated by spotlighting for bass. Under normal fishing conditions, where you didn't have a video game screen telling you where to cast and how to cast and read how the fish is moving around your lure, it would never happen. And in light of the fact that the MLF championship last week was predictably won spotlighting, and in the fact that the Bassmaster Classic this week at Grand Lake is getting ready to be won spotlighting, I want to talk a little bit about why the Classic contenders need to be fishing this hellbender, and I'm going to tie it into how much Grand Lake sucks now. Guys, this lure right here, this exact hellbender, color, size, and everything, back in the 70s, between about 1970 and late 70s, when my dad would take me fishing down at Grand Lake, this is all we threw. Guys, you cannot believe how many big giant bass we caught on this hellbender down at Grand Lake in the 70s. I'm talking about lots of 6 to 10, not 10 pounders. I think the biggest one we ever caught was 9 something, but lots of 6, 7, 8, and some 9-pound bass. This time of year, the exact same week the Classic is going on, this is when we throw the hellbender down at Grand Lake. I remember we'd go up in the Elk River Arm and we'd get on those steep rocky banks with this, and Dad would throw this. We had a little 16-foot Starcraft with a trolling motor in the back. And back then, guys, we didn't have any depth finder. We had no electronics. Dad had like a fiberglass spinning rod with like 10-pound test blue mono, throwing this hellbender there, just going down a rocky bank and catching toads. Guys, okay, that was back in the 70s. I can promise you, if you gave all the Classic contenders, took their Livescope away from them, their umbilical cord to catching fish, gave them a hellbender, I bet it wouldn't take 10 pounds for 3 days to win the Classic. I bet if somebody caught 3 or 4 pounds a day on the hellbender at Grand Lake, they would win the tournament. So what has happened? People, here's the thing, what people don't understand. It's like, you say the fishing pressure, fish get conditioned to the lures. Guys, bass aren't conditioned to this. When's the last time a fisherman has even thrown this on Grand Lake? I bet 99.9% of the bass at Grand Lake have never seen a hellbender in the last 45 years, so you can't tell me they're conditioned to a hellbender because they've never seen it. It's not the fishing pressure with a hellbender, because no one fishes a hellbender anymore. The whole purpose of the thing, what the point is, the reason that you could catch 7, 8, 9 pounders on a hellbender every trip in March down to Grand Lake 50 years ago was because the lake was loaded with bass, which it's not anymore. That's the only reason it would take 3 pounds a day to win the Bassmasters Classic if everybody had to throw a hellbender out there. So one of the things that I'm really getting tired of this about, you know, as the normalization of spotlighting continues, is about how people that don't know any better try to tie in tournament data from 20, 30, 40 years ago to the current tournament data. And they say, oh, look, Randy, the weights are bigger. We're catching bigger bags of fish than ever, that type of stuff. That doesn't matter, guys. You can't equate the quality of a fishery by using spotlighting. You simply can't do that. That is not indicative of the population of a fish. The fish, the only way that you can truly tell the quality and the state of the fishery is through traditional bass fishing techniques that do not allow you to spotlight fish and see them in real time and adjust your presentations to those particular fish. It's the only way you can do it is just by traditional bass fishing out there. So if you want to see how good the bass fishing is at Grand Lake and relative to how it was 50 years ago, give everybody in the Classic this particular hellbender, let them fish the tournament, and then we'll show you how good Grand Lake really is. The same with Table Rock Lake, guys. This thing used to work great at Table Rock Lake, the same deal. I'd venture to say the same thing. They had a Anglers in Action tournament at Table Rock Lake last week, and they killed them down there. Everybody spotlighting with Alabama rigs and Demiki rigs, but if you give that same field the hellbenders that we used to catch them on down there 40, 50 years ago, again, 3 pounds a day would have probably won the tournament simply because there's a fraction of the bass in the lake now as there was back then. So point of the video here, guys, is don't get sucked into the illusion and the propaganda that we have better fishing than we've ever had before because of the weights it's taken through forward-facing sonar. That is not a true measure of the quality of a fishery. It's not. And I'll keep doing videos like this to sort of prove my point on this. So anyway, guys, like I said, Bassmaster Classic getting ready this week. Don't waste your time. It's going to get one on a jerkbait or Demiki rig, maybe a swim bait, you know, spotlighting for bass down on the lower end of the lake, just like the MLF Championship was won last week spotlight, and just like every freaking tournament this weekend. Every tournament this weekend across the entire country is going to get one spotlight. And just like the Anglers in Action tournament last week at Table Rock was one spotlight. And just like every freaking tournament from now on is going to get one on a forward-facing minnow or a little swim bait, spotlighting for bass until MLF and Bassmaster grows a pair and quit letting these electronic companies effectively remove their spines from doing the right thing. So anyway, I'll keep you updated as the week goes on to prove my point about Grand Lake, what's going to happen down there. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys later.